Hey guys, today we're going to do traversing through our screens in our app. If you haven't already, please take a look at my introduction to JavaScript and using my libraries. That I would strongly advise you doing before doing this tutorial, and plus it shows you which documents that you need to link. So please, if you haven't, turn this off and look at the other tutorial, Intro to JavaScript first. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to our main CPT folder and open our index.css and our index.html that we've been working with. And if you have looked at the other video, you should have your transitions.css. So let's link our transitions.css. So let's copy and paste what we already have and transitions, and right underneath we are going to link our JavaScripts. And oh, here we go. Okay, so we have our dan.js and our jquery.js. So I'll give you a second. Okay, so if you haven't done that, just pause the video. Okay, so now that that's linked, the first thing we're going to do is go to our index.css. Let me actually open the actual file. Okay, so we have our index.css, and another thing I want you to do is go to your Moodle, and there should be a file called NGIT theme images. These are images, the blue gradient and the checkers, that I've stolen from the NGIT website. Haha, don't tell them. No, it's okay if I use them. No, seriously, don't say anything. And I've stolen it from them because we're going to use their theme to kind of make the theme for our app. So let's download it, and inside we should have our background gradient.png and our red checkers.png, and I want you to port them to let's see, your image folder. I've already have them there. I have red checkers and background gradient. Okay, so once you have those images in your folder, let's see, as of right now you should have other person's profile out, so I've already done it. So let's see, other. Okay, so just display that none, and let's get back to our main page over here. Okay, and once we're there, let's go to main page, and we're going to give it a background color. I actually took this style from NJIT, so we're just going to copy and paste what they have. And I am going to don't do this in yours, but I'm just going to press enter so you could more easily see what they've written. and I'm going to save, and oh, I'm sorry, and change this to img, because you should have an img folder instead. And when you're done, you're going to have NJIT's blue background. Okay. Okay, so now once we have our gradient in, we are going to go to our HTML file, and we are going to look for our UL class that holds our buttons for our sign up and login, and we're going to give it an ID because we're going to specifically do something with this ID. So let's give it an ID of checkers. Okay, and if you could already kind of guess, what we're going to do is give it that checker background. Let's see, is that the right PNG file? Oh, red checkers. And once you click, you should see the red checkers. So what background URL does, if you don't define it not to repeat, it will automatically repeat on both the Y and the X axis. So since it's just like a little mini slice, I would say, it just is going to keep repeating until it fills up, which is cool. If you have a small, you don't have to use big images as backgrounds. Okay, so which is cool. So obviously, as you can see, it kind of hugs the buttons, and we want to give it some space, like the NJIT website has it. They have some space from the images, and let's make it a little bigger. If I give it margin now, what's going to happen is it's going to have white space. So we're going to use padding. What padding does, it's going to extend it just like extend the UL just like a margin would, but instead of it being white space or dead space, it will actually extend the red checkers. So let's give it some padding on top and bottom. Top pixels and padding bottom 10 pixels, and we are going to save. And as you can see, it extends a little bit from our buttons. And let's actually, we are going to, let's see here. That one button. That one button. And just 1 second here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change some defaults that we had. As I mentioned before, anytime we have an ID, it will override the class. So we have a class of no padding with a margin and 90% width. So what we're going to do is override it with our ID. Let's give checkers a width of 100%. And a margin of 0. Okay, and then we're going to go down to our long button. And what we're going to do is change the width from 100% to 90%, and then give it a margin left of 5%, so it's dead tap center in our screen, and it changes with our you know, our width. Okay, and And what we're going to do is, let's see. And we are going to make our div logo a little bit taller because this is obviously a little bit too far up. So let's go to, after you put in a width of 90% and padding, and a margin left of 5% on our long button, let's go back to logo. And we are going to change it from height 250 to 350. And we're going to bring our buttons down, and now as you can see it's kind of cool. We're simulating NJIT, and it's gonna look like NJIT's website sort of. Okay, so now that we have I'm still waiting on a logo, and I will get that very soon, probably for the next tutorial. Okay, so last couple classes I made everyone apply the .wrapper class, which will be position absolute, top and left of 0, and height and width of 100%. We're going to cut that, and what we're going to do is get rid of it altogether. And we're going to apply it to every page, and I'll tell you why. So let's apply it to main page, my profile, view tasks, other person's profile, and that should be it. Okay, so we're going to save that, and we're still going to get the same style. Okay, so the reason why I had put it in the wrapper class is I wanted to show you that you could apply the same exact style for every single div, and it's very easy to do the framework with that, just writing 5 lines of CSS. But when we actually do our app and transitions and stuff like that, it's time to put it where it belongs in the ID, because with my transitions JavaScripts, I'm actually going to change the class of the div, and if I get rid of the class of wrapper, it will lose its 100% height and width, and then everything's going to get a little screwy. So I am applying it to each individual ID of the screen. So anything that you apply transitions to, make sure that your main styles of that element is within the ID and not a class. Try to use classes as little as possible, unless they're like list items or reusable things like the top section and icon holder are never going to really transition in and out, so you could obviously just keep that style for itself. Okay, I mean with a class, just like the pop-out screens and the main screens should always be always have styles applied to the ID. Okay, so let's go to our pop-out. Let's go. Where's our pop-out? For our main page, we have div class pop-out wrapper ID main page pop-out. So pop-out wrapper. We are going to do the same thing. So let's go to copy main page pop-out, and same thing. Okay, and that is going to give us main page pop-out, and we have my profile pop-out, and we're going to apply those same styles. Okay, and let's save. Once it's saved, obviously nothing changes, but now we're going to use some cool JavaScript to make these things come to life. So let's just make sure our JavaScripts are linked. We're going to inspect element and go to our console. Okay, this and this are just from our actual PhoneGap app, so we don't have to worry about that. And app not defined should be from the regular app as well. And logo.png is still not there, so don't worry about that. So we have, as long as it doesn't tell you that our transitions.css, dan.js, and jquery.js are missing, we're perfectly fine. So let's start. Let's go to our index .html file, and we're going to go to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to open a script tag. We usually have scripts all the way at the end of the body before we close the body, and these are scripts too, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so as per my last tutorial, we're going to start by being able to open and close our pop-out wrapper. So let's see, we have our sign up button. So sign up, so $, open parentheses, quotations, pound, sign up button dot click function, and let's close it. So what do we want to do when we click our sign up button? We want our pop-out div to main page pop-out to appear. So fade in main page pop-out wrapper, and that's it. Well, for now. So let's see what happens when we do that. And oh, I think I named the wrong thing. So let's see. What is it called? What is it called? Oh, it's just main page pop out. Okay. So I'm sorry, it's main page pop out, not wrapper. So let's save. And if it's correct, you'll see on your screen the black semi-opaque screen comes out and says, "Hey, I'm here." But what's the problem? Our sign up button or sign up pop out is not there. So what we have to do, jQuery has an awesome thing, an awesome script called show. So we are, as per my last tutorial, when we use their selectors, we're going to target any element that we want. So we are going to copy and paste our sign up button, and we are going to target our sign up pop out, which is, let's add task, and let's see, sign up wrapper. So let's copy and paste sign up wrapper, and we are going to target our sign up wrapper, and we want to show it. And that's it, and that will make our sign up wrapper appear. So let's try it, and bam, our sign up wrapper appears with our main page pop out. So that's how we get our that's why we only need to use one pop out wrapper and not overload our HTML page, because if you have too many elements within an HTML page, especially on a phone, you'll see the app is going to really start to slow down. So I try to make as little divs, many divs as possible to keep the HTML page as light as possible. And I know it's a little bit harder to do it this way, but I'm trying to teach you guys the right way instead of just making it easy. I'm trying to show you how it really should be done, and you know, if you ever get interested in doing this, you don't say, well, he showed me the wrong way, you know. So okay, so now we want to get out. So let's do cancel sign up. Let's actually just copy and paste because it's almost the same. So cancel sign up dot click function, and we are just going to fade out main page pop out and sign up wrapper dot hide 0. Now why do we want to hide it is because if instead we click the sign up button by accident and we have to go back to login, this is still going to be there, and we don't want that. So we want to hide it when we leave this page. Okay, so we hide, and now and let's see if I have a problem. Cancel sign up fade out. And I think I have an issue, and let's see. I might have misspelled something. And yes, I did. I misspelled cancel sign up. Sorry about that. So we're going to type in cancel sign up dot click function. And the brother of fade in would be fade out, our main page pop out, and just hide our sign up wrapper. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for login. So let's see what this is called. Login button. Alright, so actually we could copy and paste because this is kind of similar. And it makes typing, you know, we don't have to type so much. So login button. Dot click function, fade in main page pop out, and login wrapper that show 0. And I think it's cancel login, so I'm just gonna put it just in case it is. And login wrapper dot hide 0. So let's see what we have. Okay, and login wrapper is, oh, I put login. That won't work. Okay, so let's try again. And our login wrapper, and oh, I got it right. So it is login wrapper dot. I'm sorry, cancel login. That's, you know, keeping naming conventions is pretty important. Okay, so these are our 4 functions to get our pop outs out. I'll give you a second to try to copy this. And this is pretty much how all the traversing between all our pages are going to work, which is pretty cool. It's not too hard. Okay. Okay, so I want to do traversing fully, but we can't because the only way to get into our app is if you log in, and we're going to do logins maybe next week. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to hide our main page, and we're going to go to my profile so we could do our add task stuff. And let's go into my profile. Okay, and we're not going to make it have NJIT colors, but for now. Okay, and right now we should have how many pop? We should have 2 or 3 pop outs here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, we have our edit information, add task, and our camera stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with camera, because we're going to have to add for add task and for settings, we are going to have to add a sub navigation bar to be able to toggle between these 2 screens, because obviously as you can see on this page, there's no buttons to handle saying, hey, I want to get into our sub navigation, or I'm sorry, to get into our settings or to add a task, but we're going to put some cool bars and some cool pictures there. Okay. Okay, so at this point we are going to do similar for our icon holder. So let's see what our ID is for. So my icon, and let's see, we have my profile pop out, And we're going to copy and paste that so we remember. And we have our camera pop out. Okay. So our function is going to look like this. My icon dot click function, and we want fade in my profile pop out, and let's see again, it should be called camera pop out. Camera pop out dot show 0, and that will bring in our my profile pop out and our camera pop out. So as far as why we are pressing the icon, Android, as if you guys had done the homework where I told you to look at Android and iPhone's user interface guidelines, they want direct manipulation of items. Since it is the touch screen, they want to make use of the screen and the elements on it instead of like buttons. So instead of me having a button up here and a nav bar saying take a picture, I'm going to directly manipulate our picture by clicking it, and our camera options will come out. So when we click it, our camera options should come out and say, hey, alright, so this is our picture, and we know that we're going to apply an action to our picture, so it's going to ask us from library to take a picture or to delete. Okay, and so now we want to get out, obviously. So let's see, and our ID is cancel photo. So we are going to cancel photo. Photo.click function, fade out. So this is pretty cool. As far as pop-outs go, it's pretty much in and out. There's no guesswork of how things are going to interact with each other. We know it's just a one way in and one way out situation. And camera pop-out dot show, or we're going to do hide 0, which will hide our camera pop-out. So let's try again. And if you have an Android phone and you compile it on the phone, you're going to see how cool it is, because it's actually showing or starting to look like an application, or marginally anyway. So you're going to get the full effect of how it looks and feels as an app, and not just a website. Okay, so now that we have our camera pop out, we need some sort of navigation, both for our view tasks and our profile, to toggle in between back and forth, like so. Okay, and we are going to have our canvas and our profile page, and these are going to be our sub-navigation. This is going to be our sub-navigation for settings, my profile, settings, add task, and our logout. So we're going to add both of these bars. So let's begin there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our top navigation bar. So let's go up in our HTML. We're going to add a new element. Before our main page, we are going to add a div ID called action bar. And within those divs, within that wrapper div, we're going to add div ID equals, and we're going to call it sub profile, and that's going to be our tab for our profile. and we're gonna have one for view tasks. So we're gonna have a div called div ID equals view tasks. Okay, and we're gonna close that div, and within those divs there's a few things we're gonna do. And we are going to 1 second. Okay. And we're going to add a class of selected and add a class not selected for our view tasks div, and I'll show you why in a second. And we're going to add some images. Okay, so I'm going to and as you type, I'll explain what's going on. And let's add what we have to add in here. And so within our action bar, which is the top bar for our navigation, we're going to have subprofile and view tasks, and we're going to toggle between those to go between the profile page and our view tasks page. We're going to have an icon. I put it inline because we're going to do some stuff. Well, I'll show you in the CSS where we change the opacity of the image. That's why I put it inline instead of as a background image. And our header for both our profile and view tasks. And I put an empty span. So what our span does, and I'll show you, is this right here, our blue lines. And as they change, and I'm going to be able to click the other one, and this line will be blue to denote that this is selected. And what we're going to do is when I change the classes on these two tabs, the blue lines will change from higher or lower depending on which one is selected. Okay, and this is a little trick I picked up along the way. So let's just type that in, and we're gonna have fun CSSing it. And we have a pretty big chunk of CSS that we're going to put in. And we're going to start from the top. Okay, so we're going to start with subprofile, position absolute. It's a height of 100% of our action bar, which is, we're going to change that to 120 pixels. Actually 115 would be good. And so it'll be 115 pixels high, width of 50%, and just a border to show the separation on the side. Okay, and okay, and our view tasks is actually just the opposite. It is left of 50%, so it'll be on the right side, and it has pretty much the same style, except it doesn't need a border because our subprofile has a border. and dot selected span. So now, as you've seen with my JavaScript, every time we click something, we can change classes. So the selected. So what this is saying is any span that is inside. So this shows this caret shows inheritance. So this span is a child of a dot selected element. So any span that's in an element or a div that is that has the class of selected will have these styles, which is position absolute, bottom 0, left 0, height 10%, width 100%, and the background color of it's the aqua blue. So exactly the same, except different, except opposite with our not selected. It'll be a height of 1% to show that it's not selected. And this is just a span that's a child of any element that has the class not selected. So this is how you show direct inheritance. It's pretty cool stuff if you do it right. If you do it wrong, you're going to have some issues with your CSS. So unless you know exactly what you're doing, it's like trying not to use it too much. The same thing we're going to do with our not selected image. You can also don't need to use the caret. I just do sometimes. So any image that's in the not selected div will just have an opacity of 0.4, and in our selected images we'll have an opacity of 0.9, so I could change the opacity between the images. And selected H1, same principle, except one will have our not selected H1 will have a grayish white font color to show that is also semi-transparent or not selected. So let's start, and I'll give you guys a couple seconds. If you want to pause at any time, I will go between two at a time. Okay, so if at any time you need to stop, just to write in the CSS, just stop, and we'll get back to it. So let's go back to our index file. And we are going, and I just realized we have view tasks, and that's why this div isn't coming up. So we're going to change view tasks to view tasks navigation, and we're going to change it here to view tasks navigation. Yeah, see, that's why having unique IDs for everything is really important. So now our images come up, and there's just one little issue that I'm trying to see what is going on. Okay, so as of right now, this is how your navigation bar should look. So, and then what we're going to do, let me bring this back up here so you can see, and I'll bring this down one. So that's pretty much a navigation. We have our action bar, and inside we have two tabs. If you have 3 or 4 tabs that you're going to navigate through, this is the same concept, and all you have to do is change the percentages of the widths. So you can change. If you have 4, you'll have, you know, say sub profile will be only 25%, and view task navigation will be 25%, etc., etc. Okay, and what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to our we're in our HTML, and we're going to go to our CPT folder, which is somewhere. Here we go. And let's go to our image packet and see what we have. I don't have anything here, so where did you go? Android. And I'm trying to look for my Android folder, and I can't seem to find it. Okay. You should have the images packet that I had sent on Moodle. And by the way, I'm going to be adding another one for you guys. That has about another couple hundred images. So when you guys make your own app, you have a bunch of icons available to you. And my computer is freezing, so if you'll just excuse me for a second. Okay, sorry, my computer froze. And let's see, let's go to all icons and our wrong theme again. And you guys should have this whole entire packet of stuff. Or actually, you probably don't. Let me see what I did send. Okay, so this is, I think, the one I sent you guys, and I will be sending, like I said, all of them. So let's see what we have here. We are going to use we are going to use categories.png for our view tasks. So let's copy and paste our image into our image folder, and then we have our profile. We're already using this for our icon, so let's not use that. Let's use ID for profile. Okay, and since we are already in our parent folder, all we have to go to is our image folder and our the name of the file. So we're going to type in categories.png and id.png. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if we have a winner, and bam. So now that these images come up, so now all we have to do is we're going to change the text indent a little bit. As you can see, our H1 is 100% width of our div, and the reason why I made it like that is I'm just going to change the text indent. So because if I make it a certain width, or certain width, and move it left, I don't know how big these images and how wide a device is going to be, so I don't want to be off. So instead, I just put the text indent a little bit more than I know the picture size, and I think I made them about 10 pixels left from the screen. So I know the text indent about 75 pixels. So let's see what we have now. Let's go to selected and non-selected H1. We have it 55, so let's change it to 75 and 75. And perfect. So now it looks like a Android navigation bar. Okay. So what can we do with this Android navigation bar? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to be able to switch from view tasks to profile. Now let's see what we have. Let's go to our index.html. And before we do that, let's get our subprofile and view task navigation. Okay, so $, open parentheses, quotations, view tasks navigation dot click function. And what are we going to do when we click our view tasks? We want to fade out my my profile, and we want to fade in view tasks. So let's see, the name of those divs are, just to make sure, view tasks and my profile. So we are going to fade my profile and fade in view tasks. But before we want to do that, what else do we want to do? We want to add the class of selected to our view tasks div. So this is how we let's just write this and I will explain in a second. So we are going to write $, open parentheses, this, close parentheses, dot add class selected, dot remove class not selected. Okay, and okay, so what is this? This is when I want to target myself. So my selector is view task navigation. Now when I click view task navigation, this means view task navigation. So I'm clicking myself and I'm going to apply, I'm going to add the class of selected to myself, which is view task navigation, and remove the class of not selected. So if I wanted to target myself, if say in my cancel photo click function, I would say cancel photo dot click function, this dot hide 0 would actually just hide the div of cancel photo, which is the X out, and that's exactly what it would do. It targets itself. So if I wanted to do this dot show 0, this would just hide. It's a very powerful tool because you don't have to write it out longhand, and we're going to use it again when we use our list. So I want to get, we don't actually have to use it here because we know that view task navigation is view task navigation. It's more useful in lists, but I want to get you guys kind of used to the idea of using this and the you know what it is. So we're going to use it a couple times unnecessarily. No big deal. So let's see what happens. And as you see, we add the class of selected, but what happens? We need to get rid of this profile div. And before we do, let's go back to our CSS because I think I did forget something. Action bar. We're going to add an index of 999. And let's see. View tasks. Okay, and we're gonna go back and do something in a second, but as you can see, that fades out. And let's get rid of this my profile thing, and let's go back to and we're gonna do a function. Okay, so here's where some cool JavaScript logic comes in, and I'm just going to bring something up. So this is a cool function. So this is what we're going to do is let's type it and then I will explain. Okay, so what this function does in plain English is going to remove the selected class from my profile and add the class not selected. So why didn't I target the div my profile? Well, we could in this situation, but in a situation that you have let's say like for navigation, we want to just target the div that currently has the class selected. So I don't have to write 5 different functions for getting rid of, and because I don't know which navigation will have the selected class. So say I had 4 of these divs, I don't know which one at the time has the class of selected. So instead of saying pound my profile and pound my settings and pound this and 3 other ones, and having a bunch of JavaScript lying around that's pretty heavy, I just say, hey, which one of you has the class is selected, and we're going to add the class is not selected and get rid of you, and then remove class selected. And that does the same exact thing. And now if you have five or 6 navigation items, it'll work every time for that. And this actual function will be in the my profile one as well, so it's reusable. So why didn't I put it underneath this function? Because if I put this underneath here, this view task navigation will already have the class selected, and no one will get the classes selected. So let's see what happens. And it gets rid of both, because JavaScript functions get executed from top to bottom in the chain. So that means this function is getting fired after this one. So that's why we need to get rid of the selected class first before we add it to our view task navigation div. Okay, so let me just put it here. And then last but not least, we want to fade in between the divs. And we are going to do actually the same exact thing, because we don't really name any divs in specific. We named this and dot selected. It's reusable. The only thing that needs to change is our view tasks. Need to go first because we're getting rid of view tasks, and we're bringing back my profile. And we're gonna make it sub profile instead. Let's see. Sub profile.click function, and like I said, since we use all generic terms, I would say it will work for everything. So we could just go back and forth between our navigation, and that's it. And it's pretty simple. So now we could go back and forth between our view tasks. Okay. And just to make sure we have our view tasks, actually before we do that, I want to go to our CSS real quick and put that up for a second so you guys can pause it if needed. I'm going to fix that. As you can see, I try to write as neatly as possible due to the fact that this already kind of looks sloppy as it is, and I want to be able to distinguish clearly between all my scripts and be able to decipher it later if I look through it. On a real-time application, you're going to have hundreds of lines, and I'll show you an example. This is a mini application with about 4 pages, and the scripts start here. Now we're at 240, and all these are scripts and different functions throughout the app, and down and down and down we go. And that's just a medium-sized app, I would say, not even. They get bigger. So, like I said, writing as little and neat code as possible is crucial to the process. Okay. So right now on this page, we should be able to pop our icon in and out and go between our profile and view tasks. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we need to add a sub-navigation bar so we could edit our profile, our settings, we can add a task, and we can log out. Okay, and after those 3 things, we should be done with simple navigation, and we could start editing and adding content to our site or to our app, which would be our profile. We're going to be able to log in and stuff like that, and then eventually add pictures. Let's begin. And hold on 1 second. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add our profile options bar. So let's go to our, as you can see here, it'll be the same thing like this, and it'll just be visible in our profile page, so we can apply some actions as add task and change settings and log out. So let's go to our My Profile page. And we're going to, undo, and just put that here. Let's go to our My Profile, and just give me a second. I'm just going to copy and paste this, edit profile, and I'll make this add task button and log out button. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is our div ID equals profile options bar, and then within that we're going to have our div ID equals edit profile button, div ID equals add task button, and div ID equals login button, or log out button, I'm sorry. And we're going to close the div. So I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so let's go to our index.css, and we're going to do our edit profile button, and we're going to have add task button, and I'm going to add our logout button down here. And I will give you guys a second to copy. So within our div that we're going to hold our sub-navigation bar, which is by the way here. So we'll start here. Oh, I can't get out of here. There we go. So in our profile options bar, actually we have to go down to 115 now, and because our main navigation bar is now our main navigation bar is 115 pixels high, and we're gonna have to wind up moving down our top section. So that's why we put our top section in all our info in here, our icon, our name, our username in one div, because we can now move it pretty easily. And let's see, it has to be 184. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's go to top section, and we're going to change this to 184, and let's go down back to our profile options bar. So we're going to have a top 115, height 68. So it doesn't have to be that big because it's sub-navigation, but it still has to be big enough so people can press it easily. It's a width of 100%. Has the same background as every single other navigation item or section that Android off-white, and just a mini box shadow so we get a little line over here, some separation. And our edit profile button is position absolute, top 0, left 0, height of 100% obviously, and I just did 32.9 instead of 33 because I have a little border and it winds up overlapping. So same with our add task button, it will be 32.9% to the left, position absolute, and our log out button is 65.9%. Actually, but for this we're going to get rid of our border because it's against the right side over here, so we don't need a border, and we should be okay. If you look, inspect element, now we have our log out button, our add task button, and our edit profile button. And unless the phone is super small, it won't overlap, but it should be okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add backgrounds for each of these items. Okay, so what we're going to do is, since we're going to get some images from our folder, we're going to do edit profile. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so let's go to our images packet, and we're going to use the plane, which should be logout.png, and I'm just going to port these over to our img folder. So let's go to image and paste our logout. We'll use send for our edit profile, and actually we'll use send for tasks, and the lock for edit settings. Okay, and let's see, now that we are in here, okay, and I'll X out, and I want to go to CSS. We go into CSS and edit profile button, edit file button. Oh, actually we already have it, so let's just add our background URL. We're going to go back to the parent folder, then to the image folder, and then we are going to use send.png. I'm sorry, lock.png, and we are going to have a background repeat, no repeat, background size. Since our sub action bar is only 68 pixels, I would say let's make it 50 pics, and background position of top center, or actually let's do top center, which will be top vertically and centered horizontally. And it will be here, so let's make this a little smaller. I see that it's a little big, so let's make it 47 by 47. There we go. And the only reason why I'm making it smaller is because we're going to put some words underneath. So let's add our background URLs for our add task and log out. So we can just copy and paste the same code into both, and we're just going to change for add task, we'll make it we'll change it to send, and log out will change to log out, and we don't have to change much except for the URL of the image. So let's save it and let's see what we have, and we should have all three background URLs centered in the div. Okay, so now what we have to do is add our titles. Okay, so let's go back to our edit profile button, and we are going to add a span ID, edit profile span, and all caps, edit profile. Okay, and we are going to add our add task span, span ID equals add task span, add task span. And spans are good because we could easily mold the CSS, and we are going to just stretch it across the bottom and text align center. Span ID, log out, span, log out, span. Okay, so let's see what we have before we style our spans. And as you can see, by default they're inline elements, meaning they just wrap around the letters. So let's try to display blocks, see what happens. And we're going to text align center and position absolute, top, bottom 0, and as you can see, it will be 100% of our div, and it will be on the bottom. So I'm going to port this over. So this is a cool way to see how style is going to look without having to keep refreshing your document. We could just keep doing the same thing. So actually, what we could do is add a class of options span. Option span and option span okay, and we are going to go to our CSS dot option span for our option span, and we are just going to we want the same exact styles for every single one of them. So why write the CSS 3 times over when we could write it once and it should come out the exact same every time, except I must have spelled something wrong. So let's see. Oh, I just didn't save on my index. Make sure you save on your index.html, and oops, I added it by accident to my div. So add it to all 3 spans, and we should have the same exact style for every single one. And let's just change the color to a charcoal gray, which Android uses for a lot of its lettering. And when we port it to an Android app, you'll see that we're going to make it Roboto, which is the default Android font. And of course, when you get to a certain point, this is going to happen. But we're going to figure we're going to show you how to create different CSS files for different size phones, so that will never really happen. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is be able to edit our profile, our settings, and add a task, and we'll be done with navigating through our application for the most part, except for other users' profiles, but we're not going to be able to do that until we are able to see other people's tasks. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add an event to our edit profile button. So let's go to and we have our settings pop out. Copy. And we have our, I'm going to copy and paste. So we're going to do, we're going to add a handler for edit profile. Dot click function, and then we want to let's see, we want to fade in our my profile pop out that I'm going to copy and paste from my icon click function, because we don't have to type every time. Okay, so we're going to fade in our my profile pop out and settings pop out dot show 0 to show our settings pop out. Let's see what happens. and it's not working. Edit profile button. And let's try it again. And our edit information comes up, and let's just see what we have as far as cancel change info. So we have cancel change info dot click function. So let's do what we did before. We're just going to copy and paste and do the reverse. Cancel change info, and we're going to fade out our wrapper, and we're going to hide our settings pop out. Settings pop out dot hide 0, and let's see what we have. And we can navigate in and out from our edit profile pop out, and we're going to do the same thing for add task. So we have our add task button, and we want our my profile pop out to fade in again, and we want our add task pop out to show 0, and we have our add task pop out come out. Okay, and our button cancel task, same as before. We're just going to copy and paste. Cancel task, and we're going to fade out our my profile pop out, and add task pop out dot hide 0, and we should be able to navigate in and out. Perfect. And logout we're going to leave alone for now, along with doing anything for view tasks, because we need to be on the phone to do some native alerting. So next time what we're going to do is be able to actually log in, and we're going to do form validations and filling in forms in local storage, and then after that we are going to get into web data and geolocation, just a heads up. So at this point we should have pretty much basic navigation throughout the entire phone. You should be able to go back and forth between view tasks and my profile, pop out the edit profile div, the add task div, and if our main page is and our camera, also if we display none, and we go back to our main page, we should have everything up and to be able to log in and sign up come out, and I will be giving you guys the icon or the logo shortly. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you.